Chris Kreider sends this home opener off with a bang, and now the Ducks prepare to take on the unstoppable Carolina Hurricanes. That and more on this episode of Locked On Anaheim Ducks.
You're Locked On Ducks, your daily podcast on the Anaheim Ducks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome, everydayer. Thanks for making Locked On Anaheim Ducks your first listen every day, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com and win $300 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. I'm Kyle Carr. I'm a lifelong Anaheim Ducks fan. I've spent multiple years covering collegiate sports, including college hockey. But here on Locked On Ducks, we're always talking about the Anaheim Ducks. And finally, the home opener has passed, and it was an absolute banger of a night. It was so much fun. And then we have the Carolina Hurricanes coming up on Thursday. That's going to be an exciting game. Unfortunately, I don't get to be there. I get to take a final exam and turn in a paper. Yay me. But the excitement at the Honda Center on Tuesday, and the fact that it was a Tuesday night, and then, yes, I know the home opener, it's supposed to be expected to be a little bit more crazy than a normal Tuesday game would be, but the crowd showed up. All of the Orange Country faithful were there in strides. It was so much fun. I had so much great memories, just great experience, but I'll get into more of that later. What was exciting the most about the home opener, of course, was how the Ducks finished. And that was with Chris Kreider getting the game-winning goal on a power play with just a few minutes, actually just over a minute left in that the third period. And the Ducks come away with 2 points. Doesn't have to go to OT. Absolute exciting game. And Chris Kreider, my goodness, has he arrived? He is officially an Anaheim Duck, and he is setting the tone, just taking off. You all smiles out here. I saw earlier on social media today, look at what happens when you take someone out of a team that just isn't doing it for him anymore. He looks sullen. He just looks depressed in New York. Then it shows him in Anaheim, just full of smiles, putting on the Bombay jacket, looking like a stud. It was absolutely exciting to watch him just bring it in the home opener. But he hasn't just been bringing it in the home opener. Chris Kreider is 5 points in 3 games. That is the pace he's at right now. Silent in that first game. Unfortunately, the entire team pretty much was, other than McTavish and Beckett Seneca. But then he has popped off since. 2 goals against the San Jose Sharks, and then comes into the home barn for his first time as an Anaheim Duck and gets 2 goals and an assist. The assist gave the Ducks the lead originally, but then the Penguins did come back and tie it, and then he gets the game winner on the power play. He is playing extremely well, but he's playing the way that I expected Chris Kreider to play once he got here. All of his goals have been scrappy, down low goals, either on the power play or 5-on-5, but they're just right in the wheelhouse of the goaltender, just right there, right in the front door, not afraid to get in that danger area and just picking up the garbage, whether it's a direct pass or a redirect, or he's picking up the rebound. He's right where he needs to be, and that is exactly where the Ducks struggled last year, not having anyone in that space. And that has been a lot of the Anaheim goals have been in that 5% area, right around that goalie crease. That's where most of those goals are coming from. So good to see that we've had a change of pace here in Anaheim, and that the Ducks are using that area a lot more frequently, and they're really causing a lot of havoc. And Chris Kreider is the guy that is there doing that. Looking at where Chris Kreider is coming in and having success as well, where these goals are coming from, not only are they big time goals, they are timely goals as well. Looking at the San Jose game, he gets the game tying goal against San Jose with 51 seconds left in regulation. And his previous goal before that was 31 seconds left in the second period, getting the Ducks within one. And so last minute goals, those are detrimental to the opponents. It always causes just a little bit of weight to get added to the shoulders when you're the team not scoring in that final minute and it's the other team. So the fact that he's getting one with 51 seconds before regulation ends, 31 seconds before the second, and then we're looking at the Penguins game. He starts the scoring off. That was about 10 minutes into the first period, so still some time left there. But their Ducks are down 2-0 after a quick start from the Penguins. Kreider comes in, gets a nice little tip down low, looking brilliant, just huge celly. Love to see it. And then later in the game comes back to get his second of the night, which ends up being the game-winning goal on a power play. 1 minute and 27 seconds left in regulation, giving the Ducks 2 points without having to go to overtime, leaving the Penguins with none. That is insane. And it was another goal down low. You got a nice little send down to Terry, who's below the goal line, and just utilizing that bumper type power play maneuver. Something that I kind of talked about last year, which I wish they would have done more, is you get that guy not in the bumper position off the wall, but right there in the slot. So when the guy goes down below that goal line, he's right there. Basically just bump it into the net or bump it back over to the guy who is on the bumper position along the wall. So finally we get that play down low. Terry spots Chris Kreider and boom, back of the net. Beautiful play. Good to see Terry get an assist on that as well. And also Kreider got the original Ducks taking of the lead because they did have to climb back. They finally tied that game. And then Chris Kreider gets the primary assist, seeing Drew Hellison, and Helly gets a nice snipe into the net. Looked like it could have been redirected, but upon the review, it was just a floater right into the net. Beautiful shot from Drew Hellison, set up by Chris Kreider. So that gives him 5 points in 3 games, and he's just showing up, and it looks like he's having so much fun, and he's playing the way the Ducks needed him to play, and the exact reason that we brought him over there, just to be scrappy, to be timely, and even when he's not scoring, that line was doing a really decent job. He's meshing well with Leo Carlson, and they had Alex Killorn with them at the home opener, and they did a really good job. I like those kind of 2 veteran guys there with Leo. Leo gets to kind of see the ice a little bit more. Taking Terry off that line definitely opened things up. I had someone who mentioned to me about that, and they said, it makes sense with Quenneville just reading the lines and seeing him take Terry off. It just wasn't working. You got 2 puck movers, and it wasn't working really well. Now you got Killorn, who's more of a forechecker, kind of guy that's going to take up space, and it worked out well. And I like how we're already seeing line changes, and this is something that we never saw really last year at all. I think there was maybe 1-2 times where Coach Cronin changed the lines, and now Quenneville's already mixed it up like 3 times, and we haven't even gotten to our 4th game of the year. So good to see the coach not being settled with way things are going, sees things a little bit different, not afraid to try it out, and that's what we're seeing. And just to see Chris Kreider, who comes over here, and he basically got sold a bit of goods from the other teams. He was kind of mulling it over. He hears all these good things from Ryan Strome, Jacob Trouba, Frank Vetrano, talking to all the guys. They're talking up the team. They're talking up the environment. Then we get Joel Quenneville, who also is bringing it. And I'll talk about him and how things went for him with the home opener in the next segment. But to have this guy who chose this team because he believed in the vibe, he believed in the future of this team, and basically the room, the team, there is a belief, and they are feeding off of each other. They're feeding off of the coach. There is an energy that is going through that locker room and through the entire Honda Center. Great Park guys, all of Orange County is feeling it, and you felt it at the home opener. And we'll talk about that coming up next. Most people can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's 401ks, properties, or investments. And when you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. That's why there is Monarch Money. It's an all in one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy to use interface on your laptop or on your phone. Monarch is built for people with busy lives. If you put off organizing your finances, Monarch is for you. Monarch does the heavy lifting for you. You can link all your accounts in minutes, see clear data visuals, get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. It is so nice, especially for someone like me with a little ADHD tendencies. Losing track of financials is very easy. And now with Monarch Money, I don't have to worry about that. It's all right there. It's keeping track of things that I may personally forget or choose to forget because, I don't want to let it know that I'm spending money I shouldn't be. But Monarch Money lets me know. So it keeps me disciplined and on track. So don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONNHL at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code LOCKEDONNHL. Well, the home opener finally done, and all this anticipation, everything coming together, it pops off. And boy, was it an exciting time. I absolutely loved how everything went and the production and everything that the Anaheim Ducks crew behind the scenes, behind the players, everyone there did an absolute fantastic job. The Honda Center, all the staff did great. JoJo absolutely bringing the roof down off of that place. It was an exciting, exciting night. Ali K always bringing the vibes. We got to run into the Duck Stream people during the orange carpet. We had Emerson Edom and Steve Carroll. Alexis Downey was there. Everyone was having a great time. And of course, the man of the hour, Wild Wing, showing his stuff off, giving everyone in the crowd a free mask for the home opener. Love it, love it, love it. I'd put it on, but my headphones, it'll be a whole mess. So it's right there for your viewing pleasure. But it was great to go out there. The orange carpet, definitely an experience. There was rain in the morning. People weren't sure if it was going to happen. And they said, we don't care. We're going to show up. We're going to have the orange carpet. It's great. Let's do it. The setup was weird, kind of because of the construction and everything, but it was very short and only one runway. I've seen before where they kind of did like a maze. So you get a little bit more surface area for people to try to get autographs and everything. This was kind of like if you weren't the first, I'd say 75 people on either side, you were kind of out of the way. You're having to reach over people and stuff. Got a little overwhelming. I ended up stepping out of the crowd because there's people that, deserve to get autographs more than myself. I think kids and people that really love it, or they're visiting from out of town, like Iowa or something, let them have that moment. I'm sure I'll run into them later. But the energy was there. There were so many people that showed up to the orange carpet hours ahead of time. The thing popped off at 3:30. There's people there at noon, at least, already in line waiting. Parking garage opened at 1. People are already there trying to park. Uh, the entire area around there, cannot wait for the OC Vibe to open. So there's a little bit more stuff to do. But the lazy dog near there was full of Ducks fans. All the businesses were finally getting a lot of people in there. There was a huge excitement before the game. Then getting into the game, super easy to get in. Everyone was excited, have the energy. We get to the opening where they're announcing all the names and all the players and stuff, and the lights, the sound, everything was so well done by that entire staff for the Ducks. They know how to do it. The fan engagement has stepped up extremely well in the last few years. It just keeps getting better and better. You think that they've set the bar, and then they bring a whole new level. This year they're introducing a whole new tunnel thing with the new logo and neon orange lights. It looks so cool. If you have not been to the Honda Center, or you weren't at the opening, obviously you haven't if you weren't at the home opener, but if you get to go to games, they're going to have it at every home game. It's the coolest looking thing. The Ducks that fly around, they got a makeover. So things are buzzing there. And then as they're announcing the staff, they announce the IR players and the guys who are not on the ice for the night. Then they start announcing the coaching staff, and it got to Joel Quenneville, and I tell you, that place was so loud when they called Joel Quenneville's name. Everyone is so pumped for this. This was a change that needed to happen, and you could just feel it. There was an eruption and a pretty long ovation, probably at least like 10 seconds long, of people screaming, hollering, all excited for Quenneville. And then they get through the names, some big yells for Seneca, of course, starting out his first home opener, his first year with the team, and he's got 2 goals coming into it, leaves the game with an assist. So he's bringing the energy. You saw Troy Terry got a pretty good shout out as well. Cutter Gauthier getting some fan yells. Leo Carlson, of course, making the roof explode. But then, surprise, I was like, wait, there's some names that they skipped. It sounded like it was kind of by, I think it was numerical order or alphabetical. It was a whole night. I can't remember which order, but I'm pretty sure they were doing an order. I'm like, hey, now there's some people missing. Where are they? Well, that's Jackson LaCombe and Mason McTavish, and that's because they are the players with the alternate captain A's this year. So we've got Jackson LaCombe, Mason McTavish with the A's, and then, of course, Radko Gudas, the captain. I have been on the Mason McTavish as the future captain train. If you saw my previous episode, you know why. But Jackson LaCombe is an absolute banger of a choice to have as a captain. I wasn't even thinking about it. And then seeing him with the A, and my buddy Tim texts me. He's like, so you think LaCombe's going to be the next captain? And I was like, bro, honestly, didn't even think about it. I've just been thinking of either McTavish or Leo Carlson. Let Carlson play. Let him have his fun. I think he's just being, I think he's a little bit more invested in just being the player. Like, he doesn't have to worry about being a leader. He is a leader. I think his voice definitely carries, but I feel like just let him play, be the shining star that he is. LaCombe and McTavish, those are the guys putting the hard work and kind of being the straw that stirs the drink, as John Allers likes to say. Really mixing things up and kind of stirring the guys. They're a little bit more of that personality. I think Leo's kind of the fun goal scorer, kind of the new Trevor Zegras, and he's just becoming so much more open book. And I think his personality is really coming out. He's showing himself to be a great thing. So there's a lot of energy. It's just so many good things that I could come away with at the home opener. But overall, everyone absolutely enjoyed that game. It was so loud in there. We broke a Honda Center record, the most attendance at the Honda Center. So I question if that means that's once they switch to the Honda Center branding, and that's what they mean. But because they very much emphasize the Honda Center, it was Arrowhead Pond. So, but then leaving, I parked in the parking structure, leaving with a record-setting attendance. It was a little tough. We got to the car. I was on the bottom level because I parked there earlier for the event. So it was a little difficult getting out. They had to guide it. I felt it was pretty organized though, and it wasn't like a nightmare. It was tough, but not horrible, not disgusting, not like hours upon hours. I was a little bit in a rush because I had a beer league game that I had to get to, and I was already supposed to be getting dressed. But that's neither here nor there. But it wasn't too crazy. We got out of there nice and smooth. There wasn't really anyone freaking out, no aggro, nothing tough like that. So it wasn't bad. But when we were walking back to the garage, I did have a nice little run in, and I just wanted to share this experience. It was kind of fun being in the crowd, and well, here it is. Well, the home opener is officially done, and the Ducks come on top, 4-3. Chris here,
let's go,
bringing the Iowa charm.
Let's go, Locked On Ducks.
Yeah, let's go. Gotta do the grams, But we come away with a win, 4-3. Ducks finally get the lead, make it a 3-2 game. Pens tie it up, and then the Ducks get one right there late. Chris Kreider with his second of the game. That's 4 goals for Chris Kreider in 2 games. Absolutely killing it. Great game. Let's go Ducks. Fly together. So shout out to whoever those gents were that recognized me and said, let's go Locked On Ducks. And the energy was fun. I got run into by a lot of people that said hi to me, and the Orange Country faithful were there in strides, and we actually outnumbered the Pens fans. It was so loud in that building every time the Ducks scored. So thanks to all the fans that said hi to me, and just for the Honda Center crew and the Anaheim Ducks Foundation, everyone that works there, for making that day very enjoyable. It was a great experience. Absolutely loved it. And, I'm excited for the rest of the season. Enjoy it if you're going out there tonight or Thursday. Sorry, I'm skipping ahead here. Thursday, Carolina Hurricanes. That's going to be an enjoyable game. We'll get into just what that might look like after this. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel has an offer you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet, put down $5, and if it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. With FanDuel, when I'm busy watching my Anaheim Ducks have a nice, great game, sometimes there's also an NFL game going on depending on the night, like Thursday, and you got to check in. So FanDuel right there, boom, get in the action. You're playing, having a blast. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today and get started. So now the Ducks are going to be taking on the Carolina Hurricanes Thursday night, 7 o'clock at the Honda Center. And this is actually going to be the Ducks' first official test in this new look team. This is a team that's going to really push the Anaheim Ducks and kind of give us a measure of where they really stand. Carolina already is at a 3-0 record so far. They beat San Jose, Philly, and New Jersey. They're technically in first place right now. They're third in goals for, so 15 goals already in 3 games. That's 5 goals a game per average. Second in goals against, only giving up 7. And then they are first in the goal differential category of 8. So just over double the goals scored compared to their opponents. Definitely going to keep the Ducks on their toes. And with the way that the Anaheim Ducks have been giving up the first goal of the game, which they have done in all 3 games so far, that could be a little concerning. They need to tighten things up right off the hop and not let Carolina get in there. 5 goals a game per average, not a good look to have to try to score 6 or more goals again. Try to keep them tight and keep them out of the net. Their power play, though, not so good. Only at 9% so far. Their PK, though, 9th at 90%. Save percentage is 17th. That is the Carolina Hurricanes at 887. So good for the Ducks with how many shots they've been taking. Depends also, though, who is in net, because Frederik Andersen, if he gets the start, he's at an 867 save percentage with 2.89 goals against average. So 2 games played for him, just under 3 goals against. And then Brandon Bussi has a .941 save percentage with only 1 goal against. So goaltenders, a little leaky. Probably Andersen's going to get the net. That's my assumption there. Especially with how the Ducks have been shooting. If they're kind of scouting out, I think Andersen's more likely to get the net, but Brandon Bussi has the higher save percentage. So we'll see how they come out against the Anaheim Ducks. But looking at kind of some of the point leaders for them and who the Ducks need to really pay attention to, they are very close in the shots per game average. Right now, the Hurricanes are at 38.33, and the Anaheim Ducks were just around that at 39. I think they might have dropped after the Penguins game because it did have the Hurricanes listed as first place, but the Ducks were prior to that. So I'll have to check that number for you later. But Seth Jarvis for the Carolina Hurricanes is now their points leader with 4. He has 3 goals, also leading them in goals. So 3 goals, 1 assist. Sebastian Aho has 4 points, but he's at 4 assists. So all the top guns for the Carolina Hurricanes are kind of taken off. It looks like they have some pretty spread out scoring. 3 points here, 3 points there, 2, 2, 1. So they definitely are spreading out, kind of like the Ducks. Their main guys getting the points, the guys you expect to score, they're scoring, and everyone else is sort of getting the rhythm going. So this is going to be a really good experience for the Anaheim Ducks, and to have it earlier in the season and to really get this engagement with the Carolina Hurricanes, who a lot of people have projected as winning their division this year and possibly even winning the East. So if that's the case, and they're already off to a 3-0 start, some pretty decent teams. I mean, San Jose, Philly, questionable. They're having pretty good showings, but New Jersey, another team that's expected to be up at the top in their division. So they're doing well. The Carolina Hurricanes are looking good. A lot of people in the biz here, a lot of people are high on the Carolina Hurricanes, but we also have people that are high on the Ducks, Biz being one of them. The reason I have this shirt on right now, he comes in, he's watching, tweeting about the Anaheim Ducks first game against the Kraken, and we end up losing the game. Biz is known for being a mush. If you've been listening to Paul Bissonnette, either on TNT or Spittin' Chicklets, he tends to be not the best luck charm for his teams. And I love to have you on our team, Biz, and supporting us, but I gotta bring some counter energy, and just balance it out. So that's why I'm rocking this shirt. It's I'm rocking you, Biz, but I'm also, watch out. Don't get ahead of yourself. Don't be bringing your bad juju to the Anaheim Ducks. We just want to have fans, but no mushing. And this is a team that I think will really set the barometer for the Ducks. And to come away with a win against the Hurricanes and to give them their first loss would be huge for the boys. And I think things are just getting tighter and tighter. Every game, you're seeing a little bit more domination out of the Ducks. You're seeing a little less giving up on defense. They're starting to lock it down. It looks like at practice, they're having a great time. They're having little like mini games and stuff. They're doing this thing where if you're the last guy to the huddle, you got to skate an extra lap, and the guys are having fun with it. They're messing with each other. They're calling each other out. They're creating a competitive vibe, and Coach Quenneville's at the head of that. And you got players like Cutter Gauthier that's showing up and really putting off a clinic. Leo Carlson, Chris Kreider, Mason McTavish. It seems like the entire squad is really putting on a new level of energy, a new level of play, and really just showing everything that they're capable of. And I think we're going to see a lot of players have career years this year. I don't want to get too into that because we're getting low on time here, but I'm just seeing a lot of consistency coming out of this team and point progression. I think we've never really had a time where the point getters are having good consistent points getting at least one every game, getting that point a game pace. It was kind of shuffled, a guy here, a guy there. Someone would be hot, someone would be cold. Now it seems like everyone's just gelling, everyone's clicking, and we're going to start to see a lot of numbers going up and up and up. Some of these guys are going to be in the double digits fairly soon. I think it took months last season to have someone actually have double digit goals, and we're heading there. We're already almost halfway there to the double digits. So things are looking good in Anaheim. I hope they have a wonderful showing against the Carolina Hurricanes on Thursday. And I believe in this team, and I believe they're going to give the Hurricanes a run for their money. If the Ducks come out with a loss tonight, I'm not going to be too upset depending on how that loss comes, but I do expect them to really put a good challenge to the Carolina Hurricanes, and it's going to be exciting. So looking forward to how that goes and what that performance looks like. And I think that's going to be the barometer of what to expect out of this Ducks team and where they kind of fit into the tier of good teams and versus bad teams, fakers versus shakers, all that stuff. I think this will be a good one. So enjoy it. And of course, thank you for making Locked On Anaheim Ducks your first listen today. For your second listen, check out the all-new Locked On NHL Game Night. Every game, every night, until a Stanley Cup champion is crowned. Get local analysis on a national scale. Find NHL Game Night on Locked On NHL on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. And as always, go like and subscribe to Locked On Ducks on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcasts as well. And I'm Kyle Carr. Be good out there.